Phase 3 is after your workout. Now, this is basically like the bulk of the conversation after your workout for recovery, for long-term goals. I'm somebody that I want to get my members, I want to get you to being able to be metabolically flexible, which means that you can train fasted and pull from your body fat in order to get energy to sustain you now, as well as have full glycogen stores. I want to be able to get you to that point. If you're not quite to that point yet and you need, especially if you're just starting and you're doing something that's more intense than you've ever done before, you're probably going to want to start, with a source of simple carbohydrates before your workout, 30 to 60 minutes. But after your workout, and then for the rest of the time before you go to bed, so important, so important that we get, number one, we go back to those 5 rules, that we get the calories in that we need. We have to get the calories in that we need with at least 1 gram per ideal body pound of protein. Just let the carbohydrates and fats fill in. But after your workout, 30 to 60 minutes after your workout, although there's not a ton of evidence to show that this is significant, but does have a kind of golden window effect. It can speed up recovery and prepare you for your next session mildly more effectively than it can just getting your carbohydrates in at some 24-hour period. Just try to do this, okay? Get in the habit of getting your carbs in 30 to 60 minutes after, in that first meal after your workout, mostly not because of the golden window effect, but mostly because what you're going to do is start to satiate your body, and you're going to have less of a tendency to have carbohydrates before you go to bed. And if you have a ton of carbs before you go to bed, again, you're going to start to blunt hormones, hunger hormones like leptin. If you spike your insulin too high too fast, you have less glycemic control, and you're going to kind of blunt hormones like GH in recovery while you sleep. So the golden window, the anabolic window, people call it, it has a slight effect, but largely it's a myth. So don't put too much emphasis on that. Largely why I want you to do that isn't because you lose all effect of your meal if it's not 30 to 60 minutes within this golden window. It's largely so that you're going to be able to control your carbohydrate intake before you go to bed.
I also think that, there's been a lot of chatter about this. I know I've seen, I kind of feel like I'm like a ping pong ball. Should I not? But at the end of the day, it's also, when we think about routine, I have my creatine right after I work out because it's part of my routine, make sure I'm getting it in. And then I also think it's like Devan said, we got to get a lot of protein in throughout the day. So if you know that between 30 and 60 minutes after your workout, you're going to get at least 30 grams of protein in, then that checks that box as well. So you can also think of it as more as adding to your routine to hit your goals rather than trying to overcomplicate the whole thing.
Yeah, and my goal is to make this as simple and as consumable as possible, but also be straightforward, and give you certain things that you can stick to, rules of thumb. So that's I want you to take a combination. Here's the perfect post-workout meal. You ready for the perfect post-workout meal?
I'm ready.
Okay. The perfect post-workout meal is going to be an animal source of protein for 6 to 8 ounces of protein. And then it's going to be a more simple carbohydrate paired with a more complex carbohydrate. My favorite is banana. So have a banana for the simple and some sweet potato for the more complex. Okay? Because sweet potatoes are going to be a moderate glycemic index. And banana is going to be slightly below. So you have a combination of those two things. Now you have that quick energy restore, and then you have that slow burning glycogen restoring carbohydrate in the sweet potato. Have both of those. That's ideal. But one or the other is also good.
What about white rice?
Yeah, white rice, you're going to be in the same category as sweet potato. So you could do... Yeah, you definitely could do.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah, you could definitely do banana and white rice. What I'm really getting at is, get yourself to a place where you have a simple carbohydrate that isn't straight up sugar, that's nutrient dense. Okay. The difference between a banana and Sour Patch Kids is the nutrient density around the banana, right? So get yourself a simple carbohydrate with some nutrient density, just think about it as a whole food. Sour Patch Kids don't grow from trees, right? Bananas grow from trees. It's very simple. You just can't pick a Sour Patch Kid and eat it. Okay? It's an isolated sugar molecule. That's it. That's all it is. It's isolated. It doesn't have any other nutrient profile around it. And then you're going to have sweet potatoes. It's going to be a little bit longer. So it's a simple and it's a complex. Combine those. Make sure they're both nutrient dense. Simple. Okay?
Okay.
So, I learned this the hard way because I'll have times of peak performance. I'll have my baseline, and then I will have workouts. Like sometimes I'll go to gyms and I'll do multiple gym visits in a day, and I'll do 2 workouts in a day. Sometimes I'll film for the athlete games, and I'll do On the Chin and 21 Savage, 2 regional athlete games back to back. Well, last time I did that, and I went to go film, I did not take my own advice. And what I did not do is what I'm telling you to do right now, which is basically like the day before, you're going to have some hardcore fitness routine the next day. I didn't fuel that way. All right. I missed my post-workout meal. I wasn't really on it the way I should have been. I didn't really hydrate the way I should have. I paid for it the next day. I went to compete in these 2 games back to back. You can see them on my Instagram. You want to pull one up, we'll show one. I went to compete against myself and against the clock on these 2 workouts. And I'm telling you guys right now, like, I did not eat in preparation of this, and I did not hydrate in preparation of this, and I could feel it. My body naturally took over. I got dry mouth. I was basically like done after this workout. You can kind of fast forward to the end of this, Chelsea, if you can find a way to do that, or just let it run. And I was not practicing what I was preaching. And so this was very hard for me. This was a time in which my own routine that I'm explaining to you right now did not get followed, and then it was exposed. Okay, so I had 21 Savage, where I had 21 repetitions, and you had these hang cleans that you see Matt doing, getting the dumbbell parallel above the shoulder, and then I had 21 half burpee line hops, and I had to do those things back to back to back for 3 rounds, okay? And by the time I got done with them, can you fast forward at all?
I can't, not on
Okay,
Instagram.
by the time I got done with these things, I was definitely like falling on the floor. And I threw up in the bathroom afterwards, by the way, because I didn't hydrate properly, all right? So I have been down this road of not hydrating, not eating enough carbohydrates the day before, not fueling my body the day before, going into something super intense to where my body met its maker. All right? And for a lot of us that are I've been doing this for 15, 20 years, a lot of us are just getting started. And camp is this way every single day for you. So it's very important for you to realize that in order to have peak performance, you got to have peak nutrition. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Trish?
I think that makes sense. And I mean, at the end of the day, you're also going to feel better than just throughout the day. So not only is it setting you up for success in your workout and have the best workout and put your best foot forward, you're also just going to feel better all the whole rest of the day. So there's multiple wins throughout this strategy. And I really hope that people took it's 5 things, right?
5 things, yep.
5 things that you said at the very beginning. And I feel like we need to put this on like a graphic. I'm all about like saving things on my Instagram for my own personal use. So I think you guys can use the same thing and save it just to remind yourself, like, it's really not that hard. I think the 5 steps are beautifully written and they're attainable. You can easily do this even if you have kids, a job, all the things.
Yeah, and it's actually built for that. It's built for you as a parent, like I said, this is for the 85% of the audience who is a parent, who is busy, who wants to be an athlete. That's one of their, they want to have health be the center of their world and that be their source of energy. But there's a lot going on and you're busy and you don't have time to sit here and work out for 4 hours in the gym every day. And, you don't have time to meal prep 4 times a day every day. It's 250 to 500 calorie deficit per day. Mm-hmm. All right. 1 gram of protein per ideal weight, 1 ounce of water per ideal weight. Eat carbs after your workout only, you could even say, and then overnight fast for 12 hours at least. And you guys, you're going to have peak performance in your nutrition. That's just going to happen. And so I want us not to worry about so much the before, during, and after before we worry about just getting those 5 things in a 24-hour period. Make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
All right. So we're going to continue after the workout here. We now learned that the anabolic window has some mild, maybe what I would call potentially relevant significance, depending on who you are, but largely an irrelevant significance to most of us. All right. But the reason I'm still going to promote that anabolic window or the golden window to get a good solid meal in right after the workout with high protein, high carbohydrate is so that you can control your carbohydrate consumption and that you can have high fat, high protein as your last meal of the day so you don't go into bedtime hours having a ton of carbohydrates, spiking your insulin, because carbohydrates will do that far more than protein and fat will do it, albeit they do a little bit, not nearly on the scale of a carbohydrate. And when your insulin is affected, now we have to consider the hormonal effects of the calories that you're putting in your body, which then cascade in a pathology to blunting your GH, blunting leptin, promoting ghrelin. We can keep talking about it, but that's why, okay? Because we have quality calories in, calories out as the basis of our 5 steps, meaning that what you eat does really matter. Like you notice it says 1 gram per ideal of protein per ideal weight. You can't eat McDonald's all day and reach that step number 2, okay? So what you eat does really matter. It does really matter. Do you remember the 4 T's?
Timing.
Total's number 1. Total calories, right?
Total, timing,
type,
and then timing,
and
then tactics.
And then tactics. Okay? So many of us go to tactics. We go to the biohacks. We go to the Instagram reels, the cherry on top things before we've worried about total consumption of food. And then, right, the total calories, the quality of those calories before, and then we start to worry about like timing after workout, before bed, we then worry about like the tactics, or do I or don't I eat a carbohydrate 30 minutes before this workout, or do I train fasted? So total, type, timing, tactics, the 4 T's of food, when it comes to peak performance really matter. All 4 of those T's matter. If you're somebody that is not into peak performance and you're just into like, hey buddy, I'm just a beginner, which is not the scope of this podcast, then the first 2 T's matter, total and type.
Mm-hmm. I also think just a little tip, or trick that I have is, you guys know this. So I used to love popcorn. Like that was like my guilty pleasure. But like you eat a bunch of it and then you don't feel full. Another shout out to our friend Protein and being a protein hunter. It keeps you satiated. So when you feel like you need at night, you need that sweet treat, and really it's just your mind telling you need a sweet treat. You don't actually need the sweet treat. You're going to be fine if you don't have the sweet treat. But if you are feeling hungry, making sure you first eat the protein first, and then you'll have significantly less carbs and then less calories, so you can say hitting your goals.
I love that. And that's an advanced kind of tactic that Trish deploys, that I deploy, that we hope you deploy. And what I would say to that is, here's the good news. No matter where you're at in the journey, a beginner, intermediate, or you're advanced, small improvements are always the goal. It's not that you have to have larger scale improvements or more improvements together at one, bundled up in a package as you go further along in this journey. The goal is to go from somebody that is metabolically inefficient or has metabolic syndrome ultimately to metabolic flexibility. So somebody that is very poor at using the food and stored body fat as fuel to somebody who is very efficient at using food and stored body fat as fuel. You don't get there by overwhelming yourself and doing it all at once. No matter where you're at in the journey, it's a small change. Let me give you an example. May I tell you a story?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I have a member in Burlington, North Carolina, okay? I won't say names, but I was sitting next to a trainer who was a newer trainer at the time. This trainer was not yet sufficient in focus meetings. At this point, I'd done thousands of them. I've heard the same 32 problems over and over and over, which is good because I've been able to then master the solutions to them. Mm-hmm. It's not like there's an abundance of challenges with nutrition. There's just a handful of things that we can solve for. and there's a small win for every single one of them. This person happens to be somebody that's just starting their journey, okay? This trainer sits them down, and I'm shadowing their focus meeting. I'm just listening to what they're saying. And they go in, Trisha, I'm telling you, they go in at everything right off the bat. Okay, well, here's your macros. I could see as soon as the word macro came out of this trainer's mouth, the person, their body language, like they sat back and they like their shoulders rounded forward, and you could immediately tell they had no confidence in what the heck this person was talking about.
Yeah.
So I picked up on that right away, let them talk for maybe 2 or so minutes. We only had 15 minutes in a focus meeting, right? So I would say that out of the good for the member and the trainer, I interjected myself, and I said, hey, Mr. Trainer Man, do you mind if I just interject here? Because I think that we're going to we're going to help Sally here better if we take one step back. He said, okay, yeah, no problem. He's like, yeah, you're the boss, man. Do your thing. Like, he's going to tell me no. But I politely asked. And so instead of reciting, my certified nutrition coach book from NASM to this member, all I had her do, I asked her 2 questions. What do you think you need to do? And what would be possible for you to do? Right? And she says, well, I know I need to reduce my carbohydrates. Well, if you're somebody who is uneducated on nutrition and you already know you need to reduce your carbohydrates, good. Let's just start there. We don't need to talk about the 4 T's of nutrition. What could you possibly do? She didn't have an idea for that. So I gave her one idea to do, and this helped her drop 40 pounds. This one idea helped this one woman drop 40 pounds, okay? You don't have to conquer the world. You just have to do one thing at a time, one small win to create momentum. Guess what it was?
Soda.
Nope, you're close though. I've done that one a lot of times too. She ate I'll get you closer. She ate fast food every day. Do you think I told her to stop eating fast food?
No.
Well, I didn't tell her to stop eating fast food. Why did I stop telling her to eat fast food? Is because she didn't tell me that's something that she could do when I asked her the question, what do you think you could do? She didn't say stop eating fast food. So I don't want to set you up for failure. I want you to already very easily be able to do what would be best for you, that you already believe you can do, want to do, and know you can do. What do you think that was? What did I have her do to every sandwich that she ate at Chick-fil-A, Trish? What's your guess?
Take the bread off.
Take the bread off. Not only did I just have her take the bread off, I only had her take one side of the bread off. So she still could rip the bottom in half, put it on the sandwich, and still eat the sandwich. I report back in 90 days, maybe a little bit more with this person. Guess how much weight this person had lost in 90 days from removing the bread? She ended up actually doing both sides. But guess how much weight she lost from just that one change in 90 days?
Is that the 40 pounds?
It was almost 40 pounds. She started working out, and she removed the bread from her sandwiches every day.
And that's it.
And that's it. Do you guys see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's not rocket. You do not have to, we're using science words and stuff, that's to educate you. You don't have to. You don't even have to know any of that stuff. Okay, and on the other side of it, Trisha, protein hunters. That's one slight adjustment that you can make so that as you're an advanced, busy person, you're on the road, now you can dial it in at home, no problem. But once you're on the road, all hell breaks loose and it starts to become wild, wild west, which we all know then impacts your routine. When you come back home, give an inch, we'll take a mile as human beings. So what the protein hunter is it's a strategy, it's a mindset strategy for you to be looking for protein everywhere that you go when you're on the road so that you can come home and you can you had maintained satiation, you had maintained your body's expectations of protein while you're on the road. And that keeps you just as on track at an advanced state as somebody who is taking off their bread on a chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A in a beginner state. So my point is this, no matter what, one small adjustment is the next level for you. The key is, what's that one small adjustment? So many of us, too many of us, almost all of us try to swallow the whale whole, bite off more than we can chew, do it all at one time. Small wins, my friends, small wins.
I think that's great advice. I mean, you could take that advice into every aspect of your life too, right? It's just do one thing and make sure you're intentional about it. Make sure you know what you're doing, and then that's how you're going to then accomplish that one, then go on to the next.
All right, team. Before, during, after,